Carter Bryant's 19-point breakout was bigger than Summer League. Just 48 hours after looking rusty and inefficient against Atlanta, the second-year Spurs forward responded with the most complete offensive performance of his young career, scoring from outside, controlling the ball, and still delivering the defensive plays San Antonio already expects from him. The defense has always been Bryant's clearest path to NBA minutes, but this game offered a glimpse of something more valuable. By the end of this video, you will understand what changed between his first and second games, why his expanded offense could affect the Spurs' rotation next season, and why San Antonio may already have seen enough to end his summer league. Bryant arrived at the Thomas & Mack Center with direct instructions from the coaching staff: spread his wings offensively. San Antonio did not need another game proving that he could defend. His length, athleticism, and instincts have already created legitimate NBA all-defense potential. What the Spurs needed to evaluate was whether he could handle more responsibility with the ball, create a quality shot without rushing, and remain under control when the offense flowed through him. Bryant answered those questions by scoring a game-high 19 points in a dominant 70-49 victory over New York, giving San Antonio its first Summer League win after an 0-3 California Classic and a loss in its Las Vegas opener. The improvement was impossible to miss. In Thursday's 93-66 loss to Atlanta, Bryant scored 12 points while shooting only 4 of 13 from the field and 1 of 7 from three-point range. He blamed the uneven performance on rust after a long break from competitive action, but the standard changed immediately in the next game. Against the Knicks, Bryant connected on 7 of 10 shots overall and made both of his three-point attempts. He did not simply score 7 more points, he looked calmer, selected better opportunities, and produced within the expanded role the coaching staff had specifically asked him to explore. If you enjoyed watching this response from one of San Antonio's most intriguing young defenders, take a second to like the video and subscribe. But the percentages only tell part of the story. Bryant ran the offense for long stretches, attacked from different areas, and drilled several controlled mid-range jumpers instead of settling exclusively for threes. His most creative finish came after contact from second-year forward Mohamed Diawara, when Bryant maintained his body control and threw in a hook shot while falling toward the floor. That possession captured the development San Antonio wanted to see: a young wing processing contact, staying balanced mentally, and finding a solution after the initial action broke down. It was the type of play that cannot be explained by simply reading his final point total. Bryant said he did a better job staying under control, moving to the next possession, and refusing to let one mistake affect the next play. He also described himself as a competitor who wants to be a perfectionist, which helps explain why the poor opener bothered him so much. The important part for the Spurs is not whether he plays a flawless Summer League game. It is whether he can make a mistake, recover, and still make the correct read on the following possession. That mental reset becomes essential for a young player trying to earn minutes on a team that has already reached the NBA Finals. And this is where one bounce-back performance begins to connect directly to San Antonio's real rotation. Bryant entered the league as the 14th overall selection in the 2025 NBA Draft and played 71 games during his rookie season. He averaged 4.2 points in 11.5 minutes while shooting 40.8% from the field and 33.5% from three-point range. Those numbers reflect a limited offensive role, not a player who was regularly asked to organize possessions or create shots. His main responsibility was to defend, maintain spacing, and avoid mistakes around more established creators. The Summer League assignment was designed to push him beyond that comfort zone and reveal whether there is a second layer to his game. That second layer matters because defensive specialists can become difficult to keep on the court if opponents do not respect them offensively. Bryant does not need to become San Antonio's primary scorer, especially on a roster built around Victor Wembanyama and young guards such as Stephon and Dylan Harper. But if he can make open threes, attack a closeout, reach a controlled mid-range shot, and occasionally initiate the offense, he becomes much harder for playoff defenses to ignore. Instead of occupying one narrow role, he could give the coaching staff a versatile wing capable of solving different lineup problems without demanding a high volume of possessions. That is the larger reason the 19-point performance matters. The Spurs already understand what Bryant can provide defensively. During the win over New York, he added 2 chase-down blocks and set the tone by pressuring opponents the length of the court. Summer League coach Corliss Williamson made it clear that defense will remain Bryant's main calling card, but he also said the organization expects the forward's offensive game to open up. If the offense becomes dependable instead of merely occasional, Bryant's path changes from situational defensive minutes to a realistic place in the regular rotation. A wing who can defend multiple positions and survive offensively gives San Antonio more freedom when constructing lineups around Wembanyama. It allows the Spurs to protect their best scorer with strong perimeter defense without sacrificing all of their spacing. It also reduces the pressure to search outside the organization for every missing skill. But there is still one specific offensive weakness the coaches want Bryant to address before that projection becomes reality. Williamson praised Bryant for getting downhill, leading the group, and waiting for the correct shots. But he also identified finishing at the rim as an area that still needs improvement. Reaching the paint is only the first stage. At the NBA level, Bryant will encounter longer defenders, stronger contact, and help rotations that arrive much faster than they do in Summer League. His athleticism can create the advantage, but touch, footwork, and decision-making will determine whether those drives become points, free throws, or opportunities for teammates. The mid-range jumpers against New York were encouraging, yet the next progression is converting pressure on the rim into efficient offense. Ball handling will be central to that process. Bryant said he plans to spend the remainder of the offseason improving his handle, and that goal fits exactly with what San Antonio asked him to do in Las Vegas. A tighter handle would allow him to change direction without exposing the ball, attack closeouts against either foot, and remain composed when a defender cuts off his first path. It would also help him function as a secondary connector, rather than a player who must immediately pass or shoot. The Spurs do not need him to become a full-time point forward, but every additional decision he can make expands the number of lineups in which he can contribute. Bryant's performance also came with another encouraging development for the young backcourt. Second-round rookie Ja'Kobi Gillespie finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists against only 1 turnover. While Bryant carried the scoring, Gillespie provided control and balance, giving San Antonio 2 young players who affected the game in different ways. That combination helped the Spurs recover from a winless California Classic and even their Las Vegas record at 1-1. Summer League results do not determine an NBA season, but coordinated growth among multiple prospects can reveal whether the organization is developing real depth behind its established core. There is also important context behind Bryant's uneven first game and immediate response. The loss to Atlanta was only his first appearance since San Antonio's 5-game defeat to New York in the NBA Finals. He did not travel with the Summer Spurs for the California Classic, so his opening game in Las Vegas arrived after a demanding playoff run followed by time away from live competition. Williamson said Bryant had a much better feel for the game in his second appearance, and the film supported that assessment. He was more decisive without becoming reckless, more patient without becoming passive, and more comfortable accepting leadership responsibilities. Bryant's own assessment remained ambitious. He said the performance showed flashes of what he could become, while acknowledging how much work remains if he wants to develop into one of the best players in the world. That goal is enormous, but the most useful part of the quote is his awareness that one strong night does not complete the process. Summer League can exaggerate both success and failure. A poor shooting game does not destroy a player's future, and one efficient response does not guarantee an NBA breakout. What matters is whether the performance reveals skills that can translate against stronger competition. For Bryant, the translatable skills are clear. The chase-down blocks come from real length, timing, and athleticism. The full-court pressure reflects effort and defensive confidence. The catch-and-shoot threes fit naturally beside San Antonio's primary creators. The mid-range control and expanded ball handling are less proven, but they are exactly the areas that could raise his ceiling. If those offensive flashes become repeatable, the Spurs will not simply have a defensive specialist. They will have a two-way wing capable of staying on the floor when playoff opponents force every weak offensive player to make a decision. But this brings us to the surprising consequence promised at the beginning. Bryant may already be finished in Las Vegas. Williamson indicated that the original plan was for him to play 2 games, and he has now completed those 2 appearances. The coach said the second game was significantly better and that the staff saw what it needed to see. San Antonio was still discussing the decision, but Bryant was not expected to play against Milwaukee on Sunday. Sitting him would not be a punishment or a sign that his development is complete. It would suggest that the evaluation produced the answer the Spurs wanted. There is little value in forcing additional Summer League minutes if the Spurs believe Bryant demonstrated the necessary progress. The opener exposed his rust, while the response showed his ability to adjust. Ending his participation now would allow him to shift toward individualized development, particularly the two areas he identified himself: ball handling and conditioning. Those skills will matter more in October than another high-usage Summer League game. Conditioning may become the most demanding part of Bryant's offseason. After experiencing the physical cost of a long playoff run, he said his goal is to become one of the best-conditioned players in the entire NBA. That ambition connects directly to his projected role. Defending multiple positions requires repeated effort against guards, wings, and stronger forwards. Picking up full court, recovering for chase-down blocks, running in transition, and still making composed offensive decisions requires more than athletic talent. Bryant wants to be capable of handling different sizes and strengths without his effectiveness fading as the game or season continues. That could have a meaningful impact on San Antonio next season. If Bryant returns with improved conditioning, a tighter handle, and more reliable shooting, the Spurs can ask him to defend difficult perimeter assignments while keeping the offense functional. His minutes would not need to depend on one specific matchup, and the coaching staff could use him beside different combinations of Wembanyama, Castle, and Harper. The realistic expectation is not that he suddenly becomes a star scorer. It is that he becomes trustworthy enough on offense for his defense to influence important games consistently. If Bryant accomplishes that, San Antonio gains exactly the kind of player every contender needs: a switchable defender who does not become an offensive target in the playoffs. The Spurs did not send him to Las Vegas to prove he could dominate younger competition for an entire tournament. They sent him to test specific parts of his development, and after 2 games, they may already have the information they wanted. His first appearance revealed the work still required. His second revealed how quickly he can respond. That response, more than the 19 points alone, is why this game could matter when the real season begins.